X-Pac Kane, after what we've seen already tonight, X-Pac, it looks like you're over your concussion.
You're goddamn right, Michael Cole. And tonight it's time to take care of unfinished business. We just took care of some, and we got some more. Acolytes, WWF Tag Team titles. Tonight, you ain't got a goddamn thing to say about it. We're doing it!
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the Kid, Carl Charles, and
the man who teamed up with Kane, turned on Kane, and stole Kane's girlfriend, C.Y. Chong.
Yeah, that was a very weird storyline. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite wrestlers. He's gone by many names. The 1-2-3 Kid, Syxx Pac, the Cannibal Kid, Kamikaze Kid, the Lightning Kid, Pac. Sean Waltman, which is his real name, and Syxx Pac, X. Didn't know he went as X, and X-Pac.
Did he just go as X? All right, I didn't know that either.
I don't know when that was. Okay. Oh, yeah, we can talk about Sean Waltman, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. Yeah,
the innovator of what they call X-Pac Heat, which we'll get onto later.
Yeah.
So I think I knew about the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah.
I didn't really know about Syxx at the time, but I think when he came back and joined DX is when I really took note of him.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's like, he's in that. So after Shawn Michaels left DX and Triple H ended up leading it and combined the New Age Outlaws with them.
Yeah,
who I always thought for some reason was part of them, because when I started to come back into wrestling, they teamed up. DX teamed up with New Age Outlaws, then they became a unit.
Yeah.
So Shawn Michaels left because he had issues, a back injury, and Sean Waltman rejoined. Well, no, he rejoined WWF, but he joined the DX at that point.
Yeah.
And he came across. I thought he came across like really well. Like he as a good fiery baby face at that point.
Yeah.
He's like a rough and tumble kind of guy, you know.
Yeah, he was the underdog as well.
Yeah, well, he could talk the talk. He had good mic skills, you know. He could say what you need to say and stuff like that. I wouldn't say charismatic to level of Rock, but you paid attention to him at that point, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know when, but somewhere after DX kind of separated.
Yeah. Oh well, it kind of is weird because there's that bit where Triple H left.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Well, Triple H turned on them. Yep.
Yeah. Then DX wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
And then they came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Triple H got injured.
Yeah.
And then it was just Road Dogg and X-Pac.
When you say Triple H, by the way, getting injured, are you talking about when he had to forfeit the Intercontinental title, that injured?
No, I think this is literally. Oh, it was a weird period. I think this is like 2000.
Okay, yeah.
Or 2001. It was before the invasion.
Okay.
And before X Factor became a thing, which we'll go into in a bit. And it was just Billy Gunn left and became Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. Instead of badass.
Okay.
And it was just Road Dogg and X-Pac, and it was weird. And then
Is this when they were feuding with, this is when Billy Gunn and China were heels?
Yeah.
And Road Dogg and X-Pac were faces. Alright, yeah.
And it was just them two, and then they had a match at a SummerSlam, because I remember this because I went to Alton Towers with my mum and my family at the hotel, and I watched the SummerSlam at that point because it was on TV. I was able to watch it, and the DX lost. I can't remember who they lost to, and then X-Pac kind of blamed Road Dogg, and then he told him to suck it, and then gave him his finisher, which was always weird to me. The setup to it was always weird. Yeah, and then that's how they ended. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I was just like, I'm confused.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, all right, feud's got to end, all right? But then, is this how this feud ends? What?
Because literally it ended, and then Road Dogg disappeared for a bit, and then came back with Ron Truth Killings, or AK Quick, and then not long X-Pac disappeared for like a couple of months, then he came back with X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the greatest, the greatest theme music in all of wrestling, right?
I actually love that song. Like, even though actually I love the original song.
Yeah, the Uncle Cracker. Yeah.
Yeah, not the random. Let's just insert X Factor into random bits, and it just sounds so stupid. But I still vibe to it as a kid. Not gonna lie, I was like, "This is my jam." Yeah.
So, but that's late in his career, right?
Yeah.
So what like? When did you first encounter X-Pac? Well, the 1, 2, 3 kid, Sean Waltman.
No, when was your? There was a brief period when he was the Lightning Kid.
Okay.
In WWF.
With a flash, with the with the flash symbol on his.
Yeah. Before they probably got sued. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I encountered him. I was like, and he stuck out to me because he didn't look like anyone else. Because he literally looked like a kid fighting grown like manly men. So I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he was 19 at that time, so yeah.
He wasn't, And then, I just kind of just gravitated to him off of that. And then when he came back as a 1, 2, 3 kid, I was like, oh yeah, this is my guy. Even though he was basically Jobber to the Stars, but
yes,
he was awesome to my opinion because he did like fake martial art moves. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, when you say even then, he still did them. He still, and he continues to do them. So yes,
and it just stuck out to me because, like, obviously, I think around that time Power Rangers and stuff was out, so things like that, stuck to my brain.
Fake martial arts moves, exactly. And this is where, like, I think one of the things that made him notable was because Razor Ramon was really popular and was a high-ranking guy at the time, right? Yep. And he managed to pin Razor, and that was the storyline because the Jobber that pinned a title hold. Like I think it was around semi-main event at that point.
Yeah. If anything, he was like top mid card, could be main eventer if he wanted to, but he didn't want to, sort of thing.
Yeah, and and then everyone made fun of him, made fun of Razor, and then Razor did the old here's $10,000 of my own money for a rematch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then I think he ended up taking the kid under his wing, and then Kid turned on because $1 million man offered him more money. I think this is where Kid was the referee.
Yeah.
Sid and Razor were having a match, and Razor got Sid into a Razor's Edge, which was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Kid then pulled Sid's leg down, and so Sid slid down the back, and then he defeated Razor. And then Kid and Razor had a diaper match.
Yeah, the baby. Oh yeah, baby diaper match. Some of it had a weird name, and
so the loser got put into a diaper. Well, I think he KO'd him, and then they put him in the diaper, and then he obviously had to pretend to wake up and find out he was in the diaper, and then throw a fit. You know how it is, right?
Yeah. Cause I think this is when he turned to like a weird heel.
Yeah,
a kid did. Yeah, it was weird.
But I mean, I don't actually know of any more notable stuff at that era of time when he was 1, 2, 3 kid. I think he won the tag titles in Survivor Series '95. No, he won a. Did he win the tag titles with Sparky Plug?
I think he
was
did.
That Survivor Series '95?
I believe so.
Yeah. Or did he win with his faction? I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I really don't think I know anything of him at that point.
He had a faction.
No. You know when you got your team in the Survivor Series.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant he had like a faction. Like,
wow. No.
That's new.
I will say. I don't know if you heard any interviews or anything, but you might have seen the picture where he has no eyebrows.
Yes.
Do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, since he passed out and someone shaved off his eyebrows, and then he realized that he was getting scanned for the toy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's why the box of his toys got no eyebrows as well.
Yeah. So they shaved off one eyebrow.
Yeah.
Which is out of order because if you know that you're having a thing the next day, why do that?
Yeah.
So then he like you said, he was like, well, I have to shave off the other one.
Or it'll look
but then you look
weird.
stupid.
Yeah.
It would have been off like later on, you know, when he wore that bandana as X-Pac.
Yeah.
Should have just done that.
Yeah.
Probably didn't occur to him at the time though.
No. That wasn't when he didn't know about rap music at the time, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And I think the only other notable thing that from his run at that point is when he had the match with Bret Hart on one of the first Raws.
Yeah.
Have you seen that match?
Yeah. I've seen it recently.
It's really good, isn't it?
It's really good,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I see. Bret was a babyface at the time, and he kind of. So, by the way, X-Pac's not a small man. He's quite tall, like 6 foot plus.
6'1",
about
apparently.
6 foot.
I think he's 6'1", apparently. I think that's what he's bored of Wikipedia, so who knows if that's true. But...
6'1", 6'2" ish. And he's quite built, even though you want to say he's a cruiserweight kind of guy because he's not as built as
the others.
Yeah. So I think you don't take that into account. You're like, well, okay, but and he was a cruiserweight, which was you're like, all right, but how much weight is a cruise? Like he clearly looks slimmer than other people, but yeah, it was like, well, him and Shawn Michaels are probably relatively the same ish.
I don't know.
Shawn looks bigger though, right?
No, I don't know because he looks kind of like not gangly, but when he was, especially when he was like the kid, he looked kind of like.
Oh yeah. I think he had to bulk up, but yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right. You're right. When he shifted and came back, he was bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah. But Bret Hart had to use kind of like Bret Hart was the face, and they had to kind of bully the kid to get the right reactions, but not turning himself into a heel at the time.
No.
Yeah, because they want the underdog stories and stuff like that.
And the finish is pretty good because he went for like I have no idea what he was trying to do, and Bret just caught him.
Yeah.
And then sharpshooter.
Yep. I think. Did you ever watch Darby? Oh no, you must have. Of course, we saw it. Right? Darby Allin and CM Punk had their match.
Yeah.
And they used spots from this match in their match.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, you're not recreated 1-to-1, but like they were
took inspiration.
Yes. They wanted to portray a similar idea of what was going on there, which was quite similar. Like considering the heights and stature, and Darby Allin being 5'7" and very small man.
Yeah. A tiny baby. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, 1, 2, 3 Kid. Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? I mean, like he was part of the clique, which is comprised of Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, that is, and Triple H.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's quite a lot of stupid things he did at the time.
Yeah.
He dropped surprises in people's bags, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Metaphors, people.
Metaphors,
right?
Yeah.
Of people they hated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when you're friends with people, and you're on drugs as well, and they're on drugs, and everyone's just completely nuts, right? You're the youngling.
Yeah.
They'll get you to do stuff that you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And you kind of do it because of peer pressure or to impress them, or you're afraid to get kicked out of the group and all that stuff, and you're like, man, in front of the scenes, yes. Behind the scenes, that's it's not heading in a good direction.
No.
At this age, that he is like, exposed to stuff way too quickly.
Yeah. It's.
Did you,
yeah.
You hear that story of when Shawn Michaels got beat up by the Marines?
Yeah.
Which they kayfabe, but they also didn't really, because it was Bulldog, X-Pac, and the Bulldog 1, 2, 3 Kid and Shawn Michaels. They were drugged up, whatever drugs they was taking. Shawn was being obnoxious, trying to hit on someone's girl, and they were Marines that beat them up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like 9 Marines just jumped them, stuff like that.
No.
I think there was that, like, not even a handful, maybe 2 or 3, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And Bulldog couldn't do anything because he obviously not gonna fight him, but he was drugged up, so he's like could barely move. And Kid, he was also on something, and he just throws spin kicks, not doing anything. You know what I mean? It just like throwing spin kicks to the air and just be like, So
hope for the best. Yeah.
It's like, okay, no wonder why Shawn Michaels got beat up, because you guys couldn't even back him up. Yeah, or Shawn Michaels also being on stuff at the during that sequence.
Well, it's good that they both sort of like sorted out their life since then.
Oh yeah. It's like when you hear the backstories of what people are doing way back then, and you're like, wow, please.
Yeah, geez.
No, you got to beaten up. You could have got beaten up so much, or you could have died from drug overdoses or whatever.
Yeah. It's quite amazing they're both in their 50s, you know. At this point, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So did you ever see Syxx Pac?
Yeah, but I caught him at the end of his WCW run because I don't think at the time WCW was shown on TNT at the time. So near the end of it, when it came on, I saw him and then he was gone. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was called Syxx because
he was a sixth member of the NWO. Well, it depends on.
Or 1, 2, and 3 add up to equal 6.
Yeah.
Well, you know. Yeah. Syxx spelled SYXX.
Yep.
Syxx Pac, even, right?
Because discovered rap. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So he named himself, kind of named himself after Tupac, but not.
Yeah.
Depending on how you want to go that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he was actually involved in some decent programs.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, you know, I was watching some bios. It's like, he had the match for Eddie Guerrero, right when Eddie Guerrero had the United States title.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and he was going for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. So that made sense. Yeah, but I think he was capped at a certain level because this. I'm friends with Paul and Nash who are here. They're gonna keep me afloat, kind of.
Yeah, and I think he also feuded with Ric Flair, if I remember correctly, which was random.
Yeah. But you would have. Here's the thing, right? I think at this point, fair enough. You're going from 1, 2, 3 Kid to here, and you're getting more elevated up the card.
Yeah.
But would you have expected to win like a TV title, cruiserweight? I think he did win the cruiserweight title, right?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. But would you expected him to be at the level where he won a TV title maybe at one time?
I think he did win the US title, if I remember correctly.
No. He stole it off Eddie Guerrero.
Stole it, won it, same thing.
He stole it, and then he wore it out.
Yeah.
So you got pictures of him with the US title, but he never actually had it.
That makes sense, yeah. Well, he did win the tag titles technically with Kevin Nash and Sean.
Well, yeah, them Horseman rules.
No,
Horseman rules. The Freebird rules, where you never won the title, but somehow you are able to defend it.
Yeah.
And then be involved with actually having it. Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
No, depends. Well, I mean, I think Adam Cole was joking about how he did it at West because he never won the title, and yet somehow in NXT, and I didn't even think he defended it, but somehow I did as part of his.
Technically, he did.
Did he?
Yeah, because I know this is like a side tangent. Let's quickly go through it.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish got injured, literally just before the pay-per-view, so him and Kyle O'Reilly defended tag titles, even though Cole had a match earlier that night for the US for the North American title, and he kept that. And then when he was about to lose the match, that's when Roderick Strong betrayed Peter Dunne, and they kept the titles. And then Roderick Strong became the tag team partner of Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of messy run there because all right, you know, I mean, when I say messy, it's kind of murky, more like, right?
Yeah, but
like,
it technically counts because he did.
Well, he defended it in the place of someone else, and then immediately, but he had the NXT title then as well, right?
I think he had the North American title. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where like. Question mark. I don't know about this, but I don't know not about it even.
I I guess.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, when he came back to DX, like how I was saying, I mean, I don't know about before, but he seemed really over when he came back.
Yeah.
Like he had a chip on his shoulder. He kind of like was, this is someone to watch.
Yeah, he was kind of like the loose cannon of the group.
Yeah,
which was awesome. Because he was the smallest one, you think about it as well, so he had the biggest mouth. So
yeah, it's true.
Stood out.
Because when they did their Nation parody, he dressed up as Mark Henry. Mark Henry being the world's strongest man and the biggest member of the Nation.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, fair enough. Everyone else parody everyone else, right? Because they're like their sizing is not too much different. But you're making fun of Mark Henry. If you ever go on a faction versus faction match, Mark Henry's gonna destroy you.
He's gonna eat you. Yeah. Like, dude.
Yeah. What did you? By the way, controversy wise, what did you think of that?
I thought it was hilarious. Still do.
Some people saying
I don't find it. I still find it hilarious. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I was going to say because some people found it like them paintings. Well, here's the thing. Mark Henry is very black.
Yeah.
So it's like when X-Pac had to paint himself black, he was really really dark black.
Yeah.
Like, all right, okay.
And like the thing as well, like when recently someone asked Mark Henry if he found it offensive, he goes, "No, I found it hilarious. I still do."
The thing is, I think it's at a certain level where, I mean, obviously it wasn't intended to be a racist thing.
No.
It was just like we're gonna mock them sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they do it so over the top and look so stupid. It's like not saying the guys we are parodying are stupid, but we're being idiots.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We're the guys that are stupid.
No one found it offensive then. So, well, I can see why people find it offensive, and I can say that because I'm a person of color. But it was all in jest, you know.
Like, that reminds me of when The Rock, so John Cena, like, and he's worldwide superstar, whatever, right? And he's learning Mandarin, and then he speaks some quote unquote Mandarin, but I couldn't understand it, so I don't know what he was speaking, right?
Yeah.
And then The Rock says, The Rock can speak some Chinese as well. And then he proceeds to be super racist.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're a joker, Rock. That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, you know,
I get the joke. He's being dumb. He's just being a fool.
Yeah. It's not as bad as something he said. When he done it years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's kind of...
The Rock does, but the thing is, for the Rock character, he does some out-of-order stuff anyways, Stupidly out-of-order stuff. So this is probably on the level of tame compared,
Yeah. Even though now he wouldn't do any of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because
well, no, The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson. The Rock will do all sorts.
I don't know, because a lot of people know him as The Rock. So like, I think that's two things. He's like,
Did you ever? I think I read it in Jericho's book. Do you ever read the story where when Jericho and The Rock were having a match against the Dudleys?
Yeah.
And The Rock was just whining. So they were setting the match up. And they were like, all right, so Dwayne, because he's like they're backstage, and he goes, oh yeah, so Rock, you'll do this, yeah? and Rock's like, well, that might be good enough for you, but it's not good enough for The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock won't do that. The Rock, if Stacey Keebler came on the apron, The Rock would pop her in the mouth, right? And send her back to the Jabroni Boulevard or whatever it is, yeah? And then Bubba Ray's like, no, but you're not The Rock. You're not The Rock here right now when we're setting up the match. You're Dwayne. What are you doing? And then it just like Rock just continued to pretend to be The Rock during that. Like, even though it's like just to jokes him off backstage. And I think Bobba was actually getting wound up about it. And Jericho's just like kind of shaking his head, but kind of like, yeah, he's done this to me before. And just laughing as well at the same time.
Doesn't work for me, brother. Sort of thing.
yeah. He was trying. But as a joke,
joke,
yeah.
Bobbery.
So yeah,
Bobbery takes himself way too seriously. But yeah.
Yeah, yes. But yeah. So I it didn't seem to me like the entire nation. Well, they had Owen Hart in there, so the Black Heart, whatever, But
Black
they didn't seem like. I think it was the worst thing. The thing that was worse than this was when the nation was so. The Hart Foundation was in the ring. The Nation came out to confront them for something, right? And then DX, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H were on the Titantron. And they had trashed the Nation's locker room, the Nation of Domination, but they said it was the Hart Foundation. And then they said the Hart Foundation even called you guys the N-word. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of,
That's
I mean,
too much. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you guys might be degenerates, and these guys, they might be heels, like the Canadians in the ring might be heels, but they ain't racists.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a bit of a stretch. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, that was kind of, yeah, not good, not good.
Trying to be edgy for no reason.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah. The wrong kind of controversy.
Yeah. That's controversy you don't want.
Yes. Yeah. So you can't, I'm quite surprised he never won the Intercontinental title during his return, because he was back for a while.
Yeah, I never understood that either.
And he won a couple of European titles.
Yeah, European
and the tag titles.
The cruiserweight title. Well, the light heavyweight title.
Yeah, and the cruiserweight title as well.
Yeah, so
but I think
how he never won the Intercontinental.
Yeah. I don't think there was. Unfortunately, they had a good roster at this time of people. Well, no, like there's quite a lot of people in the roster. Well, here's the funny thing: when you like, Godfather got a run with that title.
Well, the thing is, like he beat someone who was always in the Continental title champion.
Yeah,
he beat Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
in a
hair versus hair match. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, why couldn't he win?
And that's when Jeff Jarrett decided to drop the country music and become the woman hater.
Yeah.
You all belong in the kitchen.
Yep.
Sort of thing, which I found hilarious because it was like, when I say that, I mean like it was done to such an over the top level. It's just like, I'm gonna smack every woman I see with my guitar, except for Deborah, who is my underling or whatever. It's just like there's levels here, and you're just doing it so over the top that.
That's what it's hilarious.
All right, okay, all right. Yeah,
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. It's hilarious.
The thing is, there's some stuff that could, during this time, it's like you could be offensive, but when you look at it, and you go, the players are all in sometimes, right? And they're like, okay, I'm gonna take this as over the top as possible, because then people know that it's not me, right?
Yeah, it's a joke.
But I'm playing it, and no one gets offended because it's so over the top.
Yeah.
Even though you can only do so much at a certain point.
Yeah, that's how that character was.
Yeah. But like you're saying, hair versus hair match. Then what was? Oh yeah, I think he had the European title. Then afterwards, I think he had the European title. Shane had the European title. He won off X-Pac, I believe, right?
Because I think X-Pac, I might be a bit off of this.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, X-Pac beat D'Lo for the European title. And then
D'Lo, who had beat Triple H for the European title because The Rock interfered.
Yeah. And then I think after that, that's when Shane got it, and he had his beef with Shane.
Yeah, X-Punk.
Yeah. And this is also when Shane found hip-hop music.
Well, the thing is that this European title match at WrestleMania 15 was actually really good, I found, at the time I was watching it.
Yeah.
Like, they had the Stooges in it, they had the Mean Street Posse, they had all sorts of interference. X-Pac had to fight off about 9 people.
yeah, he did.
Which makes sense now, right?
Yeah, no.
Because Shane McMahon hadn't turned into Super Shane at this point. He hadn't discovered the power of, his Saiyan genes.
Yeah. And his awesome punches that look so fake they hurt.
Yeah. And this is where China and Triple H came out to even the odds. Except they didn't. They just turned. They turned on Shane. Sean. They turned on Sean Waltman.
Yeah. Because early that night as well, basically, China joined. Because China left DX first, quote unquote. And then earlier that night, she joined back with Triple H.
Wait. I'm gonna set up something first of all before that. Right.
Yep.
So China left, like you said, and then Triple H had the World Championship match against The Rock. I Quit match, and I believe Shane was with the Corporation. I mean, Kane was with the Corporation.
Yeah.
He went to chokeslam China. No, this is where China turned. Sorry. Kane went to chokeslam China. Triple H says I quit. Then when he checked if China's okay, China low blow him and join the corporation, right?
Yeah.
I think that's that. So then they how did Triple H join the corporation?
Literally after this.
Oh yeah. So China rejoined with Triple. They turned on Kane at the WrestleMania match that Triple H had just before this. I think she low blowed Kane and they kicked him out of the corporation because he was never a full mate. Like they were always blackmailing him to do stuff.
Yeah,
anyways,
basically
right?
he was on loan from the psych ward or something like that. Yeah. They kind of kept on threatening him, saying, "Well, if you don't stay with us and do what we say, you're going back there."
No one's a psych ward. Yeah. Yeah, and then they turned on Kane. She turned on Kane. Then her and Triple H joined together, like the baby faces. And so when Triple H came out here and he pedigreed X-Pac, it was cementing the full turn.
Yeah, and that's when he became. Not long after became the game. Well,
the game. That one, yeah. But I think that's when Kane and X-Pac started teaming up, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, so who they somehow they should have beef with Triple H, and I think they end up feuding with other members of the corporation.
Yeah, and kind of sometimes Triple H and China would be involved, sometimes they're not. Yeah, it wasn't a direct feud or anything.
Yeah, and then later on, as we said earlier, Sean Waltman turned on Kane.
Yeah,
I think it was more like the Team Hell No sort of the weak link sort of storyline.
Yeah,
except that this one went the other direction, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't need you to always have my back, Kane. I can do it myself." And then when Kane kept on rescuing him, he was like, "You know what? F this. I'll turn on him." And then there's still his girlfriend Tori.
Yeah, and
then somehow expect to fight a guy who's been set on fire, have supernatural powers, and is like twice his size. I don't think he came out of the street looking any better than he came in.
Well, because DX got back together, and I was kind of like,
Well, at heel DX,
yeah,
because
this is when the McMahon Helmsley coalition happened. Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
and and then I think skipping ahead. Because he didn't win the Intercontinental titles or anything like that, which he should have, by the way, because he was right in the mix as well.
Yeah.
X Factor. Yeah. I don't.
X Factor was great. Everyone hates on X Factor. I love the X Factor.
Well, it is around the time we start getting X-Pac Heat, right?
Yeah, because this is just. Yep, literally, because Just Incredible joined the WWE. Also WWF at this point. And
Albert, who what the hell was that about? You know,
Prince Albert. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, so at this point and I think this is where he started fading, like not dropping down the card, but dropping in
relevance.
Yeah, you got the wrong kind of notoriety.
Yeah.
So X-Pac Heat is when you hate the man behind the character.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was the first guy. But he was definitely the most relevant guy-ish to have it. I mean, it's named after him, you know?
Yeah. Go away, Heat. Yeah.
And, I think, like, the only things that happened were he was versing Billy Kidman in the Invasion angle, which he lost the title. So did he have which titles did he have? Did X-Pac have the light heavyweight title and Kidman had the cruiserweight title? Did Kidman win them both?
No, X-Pac won them both.
Did he beat Kidman? I thought Kidman beat him one time.
He beat.
Oh no, here's the win. I think it was a non-title versus title match.
Yeah.
At Invasion. So Kidman won that match, but he didn't win the titles.
No.
Yeah.
And then
and some lady during the match shouting, "He's X-Pac's brother," because they do kind of look the same, but
do they?
Well, I think at the time they probably had the similar builds and
If they,
similar trunks.
like personally,
I wouldn't. They're long, gangly hair. You know,
she's
they
probably never.
built...
She probably is one of those people. It's gonna sound quite controversial, maybe racist. She's one of those people who think all white people look the same. 'Cause they look nothing alike at all.
Maybe.
That's the same thing I can think of. They look nothing alike.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe that is the case.
Wow.
But yeah, I after this, and he was in the reformed NWO, which Goldust made fun of him.
Yeah.
When he was doing his Steve Irwin impression.
Yeah.
And then gone. I don't remember any, I don't think he came in because Hogan essentially he came to join the NWO because Hogan was out the NWO because Hogan got the nostalgia pops.
Yep, and he got out, and then they had to bring. Well, they didn't have to bring him back, but it made sense for him to be in NWO because he was.
Well, he could do most of the work for them because at that age and the unreliability of some members.
Yeah, and he was still relatively young at this point as well. So
you know what? You just forget how he's only 50 now, and he's been around since 1993.
Yep, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I think the only other so he made an appearance at TNA Total Nonstop Action and became an X Division champion. I was going to say an X Division champion, but it's just it was just clean to say who became an X Division champion.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this as well when we did our AJ Styles review, innit? Yeah.
And then that was that. I think the only other thing I remember it was so he was talking about I don't know about you. He did independent wrestling.
Yeah.
And he hit the Bronco Buster.
Yeah, and he
hit the bottom turnbuckle.
Yeah, I remember this.
Missed his opponent. Basically tore his
anus.
Yes. So he was having towels underneath his butt after the match because they it's just assumed it was bleeding. But literally he tore it. He had to go to hospital to get it fixed, and he could have died from blood loss.
Yeah.
So yeah. By the way, what do you think of that move in particular?
As a kid, I loved it. When I got older, I was like, this makes no sense.
Well, I think it makes sense if you had the idea of the DX,
Yeah.
And then but when you run over there, jump and just kind of use
when you're throwing your crutch into someone's face.
Oh yeah, but that's not what it is though. It's you sitting on someone's torso. Because you are throwing your crutch into someone's face because that's what it looks like, right? But realistically, then you're sitting up and down. You're actually your glutes are hitting the pecs.
Yeah, but still, it's
a
weird move to do. When you think about it,
the thing is, what is that a setup for? Okay, when you got technical moves,
yeah,
and you're working the leg or whatever, right? Or if you're Kenny, when Kenny Omega had a match in Florida, OVW or something like that.
Yeah,
and Kenny Omega being a jokester, because he was on bad terms with Build 'Em Up.
Yeah,
and they basically said we want everyone was like everyone have a technical match, work on a body part, and then finish the match on the weakened body part.
Yeah.
So Kenny Omega did the entire match. He finished with a top rope atomic drop to get up the 1, 2, 3, and then when Build 'Em Up was like, "What body part did you work on?" Kenny Omega was like, "The butt, Bill. I worked on the butt." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Fair I don't know how the rest of that match went, but
that's amazing.
It makes sense if you're gonna finish like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm not. The Bronco Buster. I'm not. I mean, it's one thing if he jumped and his crotch was actually hitting your face, and then later on hit the X Factor because your face hits the ground. All right, but yeah, the I don't know about I don't know about the X Factor face buster, especially since when Triple H was Triple H's pedigree is a similar move, except that it looks more devastating because he sits on your face, right? When he's doing the pedigree. And when Kidman would reverse the powerbomb, he'd do the flip over the top and grab someone's head and go down. So there were similar looking moves, just more devastating looking. And I think Conan did it, but as a signature move.
What, Bronco Buster? I mean, not Bronco Buster.
No.
Yeah.
He'd do one where he kind of give him a sidekick and then do a twist and then sit down, face buster them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, this man has a lot of issues.
Yeah, I still love the X Factor. But yeah.
No, but like.
Yes, I know what you mean.
He's yeah. Like, I think he was just like living the hard life too young, too quickly.
Yeah, he's living life too fast at a young age. Yeah.
But like, see, where did you think the X-Pac Heat started coming from? Like, why? Why do you think it happened?
I don't know. I think because like he was in DX and stuff. The whole like fake karate moves and stuff and selling stuff were cool. But then when he's not in DX, it's like, okay, why are you doing this? It's a bit weird.
Yeah. But cool. It just seemed like he. I don't know. I don't know where it became, but he just became less exciting, which is fine. But and drifted further down the card, or and tried to maintain relevancy. But I don't think there's anything that had bite to it. No. I don't even know when to say it. Oh, he kept on getting sustained pushes because he got his own faction and that was the X Factor. But I wouldn't say that it exactly pushed anywhere.
No.
They might be taking up screen time and you don't like them, but yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like pushed or anything.
Yeah.
They had their moments. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? All right. Okay. It's a slight divergence here, but there's many people that also have gotten X-Pac Heat at the time. Well, no, at that time, yeah. We can name a good couple of them, yeah. Actually, let me give you a couple of names and let me say you can tell me what you think, right?
All right.
I'll start with the obvious. Rocky Maivia, who actually had the X-Pac Heat before X-Pac Heat became a thing.
Yeah.
Well, before X-Pac, anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of Rocky Maivia?
I didn't really. I thought it was alright. Didn't think much of him at the time, but I just thought, he's a guy.
Well, here's the thing, right? If I had to show someone what X-Pac Heat meant, I might show them stuff that Rocky Maivia had done. I'm surprised it's not called Rocky Maivia Heat or Maivia Heat or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because he was hated.
Yeah.
Would you say? I wouldn't say unjustifiably, right? But
I would.
he was so plain, with nothing behind him.
Yeah.
When he was getting this push, and I think I can see how people disliked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't his fault. He was still trying to be a babyface in a time where you had Stone Cold Steve Austin becoming Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. He was to 1993 in 96.
Yeah.
Or whatever he started. Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah. All right. Your boy John Cena.
I wouldn't. Yes and no. I would say for him.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, he did get X-Pac Heat. I think he was just after he won. So when he was still he had the US title, right? When he won his world title, I think after he won his world title from Bradshaw.
Yeah.
That's when he started defeating people he had no right in defeating.
Yeah. I'll say like 4 months into that his first reign. Yeah, that's when he started getting.
And then he just kept on. See, I think there's places and times where you're like, all right, he got hate, yeah, but some of it is the right kind of hate because when he went to ECW, had that ECW match against Rob Van Dam, I wouldn't call that X-Pac heat because they hated him and everything he represented, but that was expected kind of heat because that's the whole reason he was there.
Yeah.
I think other times people dislike him because like they're like you're better. you get beat up, right? And then you somehow use the Gil resurrection technique to come back. Like you're like the same man who has your initials, JC himself.
Yep.
And then you don't sell any of the what's it called? Any of the offense that was given to you.
Yeah. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Also, it's like I mean, me personally, he'd have his I mean, his battle raps I found a bit targeted to certain audiences. Like,
a lot of
his opponent.
A lot of these raps now are quite like offensive to like certain people. Like you're saying, you're like, that's a bit.
Yeah, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm so edgy. I'm saying that. I'm like, yeah, but kind of, you're not really.
No, but it was of the time, so it's one. It's not. I'm not like defending it, but yeah, it was of the time. So like, okay. Because like now, obviously, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's a cool thing to say. Yeah. And
I think also like there was times where he would have been better off turning heel, but they kept him babyface.
Yeah, which kind of.
And I think that didn't help his reputation. Because you're like, well, the character, yes, and the man, he's doing what he can. He's actually quite charismatic and whatnot. Yes, he's got props, but I think at some points he got X-Pac in, and sometimes he was like, yeah, we with the company end up taking the heat because they're like, fans didn't like how some stuff he was being booked too much.
Yeah, I admit that.
Yeah. Can you believe, by the way, if I said a particular match had X-Pac Heat, can you guess which match this would be?
Right.
Royal Rumble 2014. That was the one where Batista won the Rumble, and everyone just turned on the Rumble itself.
Yeah.
I think that's where Daniel Bryan got eliminated, and then
no, he wasn't in the Rumble. He wasn't even in the Rumble.
Oh, he wasn't even in that one. Yeah.
No, because he had the match with Bray Wyatt at the beginning.
Yeah.
That had the cage match.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
that was unfortunate for Batista though, because he'd have been it was cool for him to come back, except that he came back and got pushed to where someone else was meant to be in the eyes of fans.
Yeah.
You know? So they just end up turning on him.
I
wouldn't necessarily have X-Pac Heat, but he got positioned in a way that he became the target of it.
Yeah. Which wasn't nice.
Yeah. I would also say sometimes Baron Corbin gave me. I felt like I just needed him to go away.
The thing is with Baron, like, it's not been him. It's the booking they give him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think half the time is the character, and half the time it's the booking, depending on, because you still can pull like The Miz, right?
Yeah.
You can still pull stuff out of bad booking.
Yeah, but because the Miz is at this point, he's a pro. He's given anything, he can work with it.
Yeah.
Like
even though you don't make him look good sometimes.
Yeah.
However, you're like, right, he's the company man who doing it. You're like, yeah, okay, respect the guy for doing it, even though it don't help anyone.
No.
Especially not him. But hey.
No, but
yeah. What do you think of it, Eva Marie?
I had no problem with her, if I'm honest.
She got I think it's people turned on her because she couldn't wrestle particularly well. Yeah. But then half the women at the Attitude couldn't.
Yeah,
exactly. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one I thought was kind of a lot of it was kind of uncalled for. People like.
Oh yeah, I will say I did like it when she came back and then she kept on dropping out of matches, unable to perform or whatever it is.
Yeah, she was playing
stuck
into
in traffic. I think one time her top wouldn't clasp on properly, so she had to leave the match and stuff like that.
Stuff like that, good. Hilarious.
Them gimmicks to keep out of the ring.
Yeah,
great stuff.
So it's like she.
Our boy Double J. AKA Triple J, if sometimes because of his reign of terror in TNA.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so much that he was overexposed or anything like that, but he kept on being in the title picture because he was booking the thing, right? He kept on being in the title picture and they never let go of it.
No.
It's like, you need to stay away from that title a bit. It's not like, for example, Okada wins the title. but he's not booking it.
No, that's what I think. That's what made the Jeff Jarrett experience worse.
Yeah,
because everyone knew that he was like in charge and booking.
Yeah, as much as I think Okada could do some time away from the title, man gives good matches all the time when he's holding it. Well, majority of the time, there's going to be one of those when you have to have a match against Evil, for example.
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about Evil, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Jeff Jarrett always had great matches to the point where he was a superstar, the level of Okada either.
No.
So yeah,
especially in like TNA and stuff.
Yeah. No. If he kept away from the title a bit and not win it, lose it, win it back or whatever.
Yeah.
He had a bit remember. Well, he's better now, of course, right? But just like I think he had a better reputation for the company he was running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks decided to keep themselves away from the titles.
Yeah, and then they had the opposite though, and people were like, we want them to have the titles and stuff.
Stop booking yourself so weak.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, they weren't booking themselves weak, but they were, trying to shine up other people.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And then our boy Cody Rhodes, who now doesn't have X-Pac Heat, but when he was in AEW.
Yep, everyone hated him. Except for me.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because he managed to turn it around by not really doing much different.
No.
So like, I'm just gonna go over here. They love me. Yep. All right, okay.
Which is
they did
weird, but it was awesome because he hasn't changed anything really when you think about it, has he?
Well, that's the funny thing, isn't it? How did he get his X-Pac Heat? It's because he was in the Codyverse outside of any no one could interact with him.
No.
Unless you were in his hemisphere.
Yeah.
And then when you left your feud with him, you no longer interact. It's as though you never interacted with him in the first place.
Yeah, like it never happened. It's like on Elseworld or something.
Yeah.
Super
but I don't like. And that how he saved America from racism or whatever.
Yeah. He cured racism. Yeah.
I think he leaned into the Americanness a bit too much in some of. I don't know, but I have to say because his presentation is not any different from his WWF presentation right now. So how did he get his X-Pac Heat? Because when he started in AEW, they loved him.
I think when he kind of wrote himself out the title picture.
Yeah,
I think that was it because what can he really do?
That's true.
Then, all right, fair enough. They made the TNT title, and he had that for a while, and people loved him when he did that. And then I think after he lost it the second time, I think that's when people just what does this guy do? Is this the only belt this guy can go after? It's kind of boring, no.
Yeah, well, yeah, because even when you're watching just the same things he's involved in, it's like. We'll be in the orbit over here.
Yeah.
And then we'll just pass by and we will never acknowledge each other ever again. Yeah. Strange stuff.
Strange,
yeah. Yeah, I think Sammy Guevara gets it as well.
Yeah.
He comes across... See, I don't know the man himself, but he comes off as like Bradshaw to me, where you're like... There's actually something very genuinely dislikable about this guy.
I think
he's coming across as how X-Pac Sean Waltman came across. Yeah. Punk Kid kind of with a bit too mouthy.
But I kind of think as well that he's playing into it.
Yeah. Which I think kind of your characters turned up a lot more, or sometimes not you at all. But but he knows where his money is.
Yeah.
He's just got to be a bit more less brash about it, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think of Bradshaw? Sorry, go on. You were about to say?
I was going to say, the Sammy one as well. I think people... Because when he got married to Ty Conte...
Yeah.
That's when people started disliking him.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, because I guess you guys, because she's hot, and no, you guys think you had a chance of her. That sort of, that's what I think the hate
they're
comes
going
from.
after the Edge Lita kind of heat, which
Yeah, basically, yeah.
yeah, I think actually personally, I think him and Tay Conti together make them like it's more of the now you hate the characters.
Yeah.
Even though you're like, yeah, the people behind the characters, all right, but they're playing it a bit more exaggerated now that they spoke two of us to do it. You know?
Yeah.
You hate us? Well, no, you hate us twice as much.
So since that, I think the heat's kind of, like the hatred from him kind of died down now because they're both just like leaned into it and being hilarious about it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's you mean they turned it around into actual heat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bradshaw, what did you? Yeah, do you? I think Bradshaw always kind of had that kind of X-Pac heat with me. I don't see why you. I think the only good run he had was when he was with the Acolytes.
You know what? I liked Bradshaw even when he was JBL. I actually kind of liked it. I was like, okay, this guy is a douchey bad guy who's.
But he seemed too real to me.
Yeah.
It seems like that's it. That's actually him.
I don't know, because then when you hear about him,
probably actually him tamed down.
I don't know, because like when you hear about the things he's done outside of wrestling, like the lot of charity work and stuff he does, like no, I don't think he's that sort of person.
Okay, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Because like he literally like runs a rugby league in the Bermuda for the kids. And actually pays for it all. Yeah, because I'm saying, like, he's like legit rich. Like, he's not a gimmick.
Yeah,
like
that's how he got the. That's how he did the JBL gimmick.
Yeah.
So
I was like, yeah.
I think Brock got some X-Pac. Brock and Goldberg's match had X-Pac heat at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah. Because they both were leaving and everyone knew it.
Yeah,
like,
and then the guy who got cheered in that match was Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was the referee. So,
who did minimal nothing.
Yeah, but I think Brock still sometimes gets X-Pac heat as well because he's a mercenary come to get paid for his job, part-timer getting paid millions, right? Like Brock comes in and does his stuff, and sometimes he's lazy, so he deserves it, right? And sometimes he's really all in. Sometimes he makes people look really good. So
you know what I find hilarious though about the Brock Lesnar people hating stuff.
Yeah,
he just because think about it, he's living everyone's dream. You got to a point in your career where you could do the bare minimum and get paid a lot.
Yeah,
that's
like go on. Sorry,
that's like the human dream. You know what I mean? You want to get to that point, like okay, I can do.
Like in that Royal Rumble, where he just came out and just got not literally got thrown out, but he came in and went out. Essentially, it looked like it kind of was like it wasn't that quick, but I mean, there's a couple of times with Goldberg as well, clotheslined him out. He was in like Brock was in for like a couple of minutes, right, destroying everybody. Then Goldberg clotheslined him out, and you're like, yeah. And then when they had that Survivor Series match, you thought Brock got a massive payday for 2 minutes. All right. If you can bargain that, why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
You can't hate someone for being like that,
It's like, you could call him lazy, but at the same time, I got to admire the smarts behind the man, because Vince got to sign it off at the end of the day.
And it's not like he didn't earn his way, earn the position he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, he did for those 3 years, was it 2003 to 2005?
Yeah.
He did do a lot in wrestling. You know what I mean? And then we went to UFC and all that stuff. So he built himself a resume. It's not like he's always been half-assed. So people.
I'm not sure if you remember it, but there was the December to Dismember 2006 ECW pay-per-view match where CM Punk, Rob Van Dam, Bobby Lashley, I can't remember the other people in it.
Yeah, no, I remember this match. Yeah,
Big Show.
Yeah.
And Test. Yeah. And that Elimination Chamber match was really, really bad. And yeah. Yes. And then Paul Heyman got the blame for it. But anyway, the match itself got the X-Pac heat, which was quite amazing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And did we speak about your boy Roman Reigns? Our boy now.
Yeah.
I think he for a time was so overpushed. Like they primed him too hard, too quickly, too fast. And when Dean Ambrose was feuding against Seth Rollins for the title, and they all had beef with Seth Rollins, Roman's like, shrug, I'm just going to go over here and not help Dean Ambrose. So that didn't help his case.
I'm above all this, yeah.
Yeah.
But then...
Even though the guy turned on you, fresh.
Like, I know it wasn't like long-term booking or anything, but
yeah,
that kind of feeds into his character now. He never dealt with that portrayal.
Yeah. He turned it all back, somehow. Well, basically, the reason he turned it back is because he turned heel and he just kind of embraced the hate, as you would say with Kane.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is he got pushed to the title picture constantly.
Yeah, he did.
And then when he got punished for, was it steroids, whatever it was, right?
No, was it not Riddle? He was taking, it wasn't steroids. It was something to do with ADD drugs. Yeah.
And so he had to get pushed down the card. He got pushed down the card to win the US and Intercontinental title, and he's just like, yeah, but that's not really down the card.
No,
I mean, if the worst comes to worst, you get pushed down the card to win a mid card title, an upper mid card title, and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, but that's not even a punishment.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, man, we really turned it around. No, I think he always could have turned it around. They just didn't let him until they kind of just had to.
Yeah. Because he's probably like, I can't do this no more.
The thing is, and this is like when I point out, like, he had cancer, yeah, and the fans, like the fans were like genuinely felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
And then after he defeated cancer, they came back and they cheered him.
Yeah.
And then they booked him in a way that the crowd end up turning against the guy who just recently defeated cancer.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What's your logic? How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, there's no logic behind it.
Yeah.
None at all.
But yeah, no, they are. I think Kane also had X-Pac Heat with me as well. I'd say, corporate Kane era probably.
I love corporate Kane. Yeah.
Like, but he was just there, not really doing anything significant.
Yeah, that is true.
Sitting back and being like depowered even.
Yeah.
It's only if he wears a Kane costume, he's got power. Well, kind of, right?
But I kind of like that because it showed that Monster Kane is like a force to be threatened. Like he's a force rather than just, hey, I'm that guy.
Yeah. Well, I think also at that point he was so depowered he couldn't win much, and he was just a stooge.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but this is a massive contrast to Kane, like the demon, devil's favorite demon or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. And I'll also say who else has X-Pac Heat with me is Charlotte Flair, but I don't think you think she has X-Pac Heat, right?
She doesn't. I
think as good as she is, and sometimes she isn't. She's getting those title runs too quickly, just to pad out her stats.
Yeah.
And she doesn't need it, and you can't do a John Cena where you come back from wherever you went, whether it's injury, holiday, whatever, and just get a title shot right away. It's like, what? Wait, what happened to the people that were working?
Technically, she can.
Wow.
Because, especially his last one, she never had her rematch.
Okay. Well, yeah, but that's not what they. That's not their planning. And rematches happen when they decide rematches happen. Some people don't even get a rematch for the title they just lost. Our boy Kofi Kingston never got his rematch.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think with Charlotte, it's just like she didn't need to beat Asuka at that WrestleMania. She didn't need to win all the titles she wins all the time. Like, you could just combine some of the reigns and together, and you'd have been better off. Because it's better to have it longer than shorter. Just like, I think she wins it, she loses it, she wins. It's just like, really, did you need to swap this so many times? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think this is one of the more pinnacle moments where Becky Lynch worked her way to win the women's title, SmackDown Women's title shot match. Charlotte decides to just walk in there and get a title match, and everyone's like, "What?" And then Charlotte wins the title with a triple threat with Carmella, and then Becky turns on Charlotte, and everyone cheers Becky.
Yeah. Yes, that was.
Yeah, and then she had to cut a promo where she was ragging on the fans, and they refused to boo her for it, so they just had to turn her.
Yeah.
Back to being a face. Stone Cold Becky Lynch.
Yeah, which I wasn't really a fan of.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Don't know why.
Well, you can't please everybody, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't know why. I should like this, but
yeah.
I think it was the whole calling herself the man thing. I just found it just, and then she kind of became like a dick, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
kind of.
But, yeah, but back to the man who originated the X-Pac Heat. Well, you know, I think here's the like. At some points, you can see where people get it or start. You can say, okay, maybe this instance is where the fans started turning them because of this. But I think with X-Pac, it was a gradual one.
Yeah, it was.
And then they decided they hated him.
Yeah.
But I can't say it was particularly because of this or that, you know?
No, there's nothing like sticks out for like make you think the way it happened. It just,
yeah.
I guess people just got bored. I don't know.
Yeah, people got bored of him. Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
Well, who was it? Oh yeah, it was Edge, right? Your boy Edge saying to X-Pac, 1998 called. I think this is in 2001 after Edge won the King of the Ring, and said 1998 called. They want you back. They don't want you to. I can't remember the exact promo he said, but basically said that you haven't had any character development since the time you came back.
Oh wow.
Which was true. But then it's just like, yeah, it's called character development, and it's like, so you're now saying characters? Are you characters? How are you breaking full forward here? How you know? To be fair, this is when Edge stopped being a vampire and started being a surfer dude.
Yeah, because
which was
like a weird neck bracelet thing. That's a neck bracelet.
Yeah. But the thing is, he made a massive switch. He did a massive switch and made it work. But X-Pac stayed the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was. I think that was. The thing is, though, some people stay the same and can pull it off. Or could you even say The Rock or John Cena have had any difference in their characters since they started? They probably became a little bit tamer.
Yeah, that's probably about it. But it wasn't with their characters because it wasn't really a character, if that makes any sense. That was basically them. Yeah. You can't really go stale with that.
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah,
sort of...
it's one of the What would you say was it with X-Pac though?
Because he didn't. Because it really wasn't him, was it? He's playing like. I don't even know what he really playing.
What was his gimmick, by the way? What would you say?
I don't know.
The 1, 2, 3 Kids gimmick, I would say he gets upset wins. He's the jobber who gets upset wins, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Syxx Pac's gimmick, by the way, you know his finisher was the crossface chicken wing at this point.
Yeah, the buzzkill. Yeah.
What was his gimmick there?
6-member NWO.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an ex-WWF outcast, just like my friend Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. That was his gimmick, it seemed, right?
That was his gimmick, yeah. And
then when he came back to DX, his gimmick was, I'm a member of DX, a former member of the NWO, formerly the 1, 2, 3 Kids.
Rap music, that was basically his gimmick. Yeah,
I think. What do you think? Like when DX died off, he didn't have anything, and he was still clinging on. Like I'm a member of DX, but DX doesn't exist.
Yeah, pretty much. Even when he kind of left, like the WWF and WWE, TNA and all that, he basically was. I'm still that same person.
Yeah, I'm still X-Pac. I'm still X-Pac.
Yeah, but you call me Syxx Pac now because copyright. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that was literally his thing.
The thing is, have you watched back any X-Pac matches?
No, I haven't. No.
I don't think he was a bad wrestler.
No,
he could do stuff. He could sell. He could do everything that he's needed to do.
Yeah.
But why he never got pushed to I want to say even that next level. But he got a couple of main events.
Yeah, he did. There was like one time he really come close to like beating The Rock for the WWF title.
That was at that British pay-per-view, Insurrection, right, or something.
Yeah.
Capital Carnage.
I think it's Capital Carnage. Yeah.
This is the match, by the way. This is what I do remember from that match. Something random, right? But so Rock, I think, he ran the ropes. Like I think X-Pac threw him the ropes. He did the sleep and leap, and then X-Pac himself, after he landed from the leapfrog, decided to run the ropes the other way. So they're doing the crisscross, and I'm like, what? Why?
Because
yeah, that just stuck in my head because it was so odd. It was like, I mean, I've done the crisscross in training, but why would you ever do the crisscross in a random match? Like, you know,
to keep them guessing. I don't know.
yeah. And then because this is what so they did the crisscross. They stopped because they were about to run into each other. And I think that was the whole point of it, yeah. Because you meant to make them pause because they're running. Rock's running one way. X-Pac's running the ropes on the other sides.
Yeah.
And they're doing a cross in the middle, yeah. And then basically stop because their paces getting a bit too similar.
Yeah.
Rock stops, turns to look at it, and X-Pac basically just jumps up and does a crotch chop. And it's like, all right, all this led to that.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Give fans what they want.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. But yeah, I would you expected that him to get a couple of? I would have expected him to get a couple of intercontinental title runs. Maybe not the US title in WCW, but if he was around now, he probably would have got that US title and the intercontinental title.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he was around now.
Yeah. I'm surprised he never got the TV title probably back then as well, knowing that how his Nash and Hall were like his buddies and stuff.
I think they personally didn't care about that title.
Yeah. What do you mean that they didn't care about titles themselves because they're getting paid big money?
Even that too, but even the like TV title.
Yeah.
If you look at it, no one involved in the NWO had the TV title.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, you got a point there. You got a point there.
It was beneath them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think overall, I think Sean Waltman is underrated for what he was able to do. I think his legacy of X-Pac Heat kind of is more notorious than the man himself.
Yeah, I also think like now people kind of like thinking, hey, why was the point of Go Away Heat? He's actually pretty good. Why did we? Yeah.
Even though I think partially it's because he does the same stuff in his matches, but the thing is, like, Bret Hart also does the same stuff, and Bret Hart. Well, no, not just Bret Hart, because I'm just picking a guy.
Yeah.
But Bret Hart works the body parts and involves it in the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. Like when you look at it logically, Kurt Angle should get X-Pac Heat because he doesn't work the ankle; he just spams the ankle lock at the end of it. You know, there's no. I want to say ring psychology and that sort of thing. Even though Kurt Angle's a machine.
A wrestling machine, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised Psycho Sid never got it. Did Psycho Sid ever have X-Pac Heat with you?
No, not being bad, but like, did anyone really care for him after 1996? No.
Oh, no. But what I'm saying is, Sid was not a great worker, right?
No.
But his motions entertained me. Where he just did everything so cartoonishly over the top. And the Sid had charisma as well, so...
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no one cared about him. I'm not going to be like... Sorry.
What do you mean, man? He has... He's twice the man you are and has half the brain you do.
Yeah, that is true. But, you know, he is also the master and ruler of the universe.
Yeah. And yeah. The man who lost a powerbomb match without getting powerbombed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, any other things notable with our boy Sean Waltman? What is he, our boy?
He's my boy.
Okay.
So, man, he's my
I think when you look back on it, I think he gets more, like you're saying, you give him more big ups now.
Yeah.
Because you're like this. The man is very capable. The man can do stuff. I think at the time, would you say, at the time he didn't refresh himself enough. I think when he went back to the Indies and stuff like that, people started giving him more props. That's when he started turning people back on, saying he can do stuff actually.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. People like hindsight. If it's hindsight's 2020, people back then be like, you know what, he was great. We shouldn't have given him all that. Abuse for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if when you watch some of his matches, whether you can tell he's drugged out or not in some of them, because I would say some Shawn Michaels matches, you can see like this dude.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Those guys from the '90s, they could hide their drug addiction very well. Like you couldn't tell. Right.
Yeah. Unless they're in like a haze during the match, but that's kind of a different sort of
kettle of fish. But
yeah. I think underrated. I think I'd say X-Pac is now.
He's underrated.
Yeah. Back then, I mean, hey, did you reckon he had a decent push when he was 1, 2, 3 kid?
It was an okay push.
That first run.
More like enhancement talent, and I'll say like a run.
Yeah,
but he did alright.
Yeah,
he won me over, so he done something right.
Well, yeah, I think like the peak of his era was when he came back. I think between 1988 and 2000, right, when he was really, really popular.
Yeah,
and then would you say his downfall was when DX broke up, or when he had his own faction, X Factor, which was
the best?
All the members had X-Pac Heat. They enhanced their own X-Pac Heat within themselves, so they 3 times it.
No, what's the worst thing about that though? Like, it's not really bad. Like the whole X-Pac Heat thing. Like even Just Incredible kind of had to go away. Like X-Pac Heat when he was in ECW, so it was like, you just jump from one company to another with your heat. That no one
yeah. I think I put Just Incredible though. It was he was in ECW, and ECW were losing stars because they were going to, like, ECW was folding or something like that, right? There's people getting bought up and bought away.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough money to keep those people, right? Basically, WWF basically said, here's money, just come join us.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And they're like, well, who won't they bribe to join them, essentially?
Yeah.
Aha, Just Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally what it was. Like,
and then
get who we can.
Yeah. But I don't think Just Incredible's world title worthy at that point, like for this major push he had in ECW.
Like, he only became, well, from what I remember and hear, the only reason why he sort of came champion at the time, because I think everyone was gone.
Yeah.
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 But
not to say, he did or didn't deserve it, but I just think the way that he was more positioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he just became the face of the company, and they kind of didn't think he was worthy of it.
Yeah.
Like,
plus,
yeah.
I think as well he kind of got that push in ECW because he was friends with the Clique as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why they probably brought him over.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, like, but then Albert also, I think. Would you say Albert had X-Pac Heat?
No, I don't think anyone actually cared for Albert at that point. So I don't think you can have heat if no one doesn't really care about you.
Yeah, they don't care enough to dislike you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, I wouldn't say the people in X Factor were bad.
Hmm.
They just weren't top tier.
Yeah.
And I don't think they, as a group, enhanced each other because they seemed a bit random. Even though Just Incredible was also part of the clique when he was there.
Yeah.
People didn't know that.
No.
The casual people. And so it's like a random pairing that suddenly... Yeah. I mean, what's Albert got to do with Just Incredible? What's he got to do with X-Pac? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the Just Incredible and X-Pac connection made sense to me because they're friends in real life. Because I knew that as well.
But in kayfabe.
Yeah, in kayfabe. I think even how he introduces, like, hey, it's my friend. And like, okay, that makes... Okay,
yeah,
cool.
but then here... Yeah. It's a bit random to pull off these things to say, here's my friend who's my friend behind the scenes.
But they did that with when Triple H brought back X-Pac. That's what he basically said.
Oh yeah, well, I think that's slightly different when you're reintroducing a superstar that is coming to join your company, whereas they were in the same company and they was never
how Justin Incredible debuted in WWF was X-Pac introduced him like that.
Is it? Wait. Okay. Yeah. No, wasn't he working there before?
Nope. Well, he worked there before as
not the Puerto Rican Man of War. No, not that.
That time he was there as like Justin Incredible.
Oh, okay, so maybe I missed. Yeah. So let me get this straight because I might be mixing up what I'm thinking. Right? I thought he was there. I thought he came back before that point. No, but you're saying literally he came back. X-Pac's like, yeah, this is my friend Just Incredible, and now this is my other friend Albert. Not saying you said that bit, but I'm just like, yeah. We're like, and this me, my friend Just Incredible, and we're gonna introduce our third member Albert, and now we're the X Factor.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
Albert joined about a month later because they were fighting someone, and then they won the match, and they started beating up the people, and then Albert came. Baldo bombed someone, and then they was like, "Yeah, he's the third member, really X Factor." That's when they announced the name X Factor.
Yeah, random, but hey,
yeah, pretty much.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that X-Pac deserves the hate that he had during that time.
No.
That's yeah. Do you think he got overpushed? Or do you think got underpushed? Or do you think kind of he got where...
I'll say underpushed, if I'm honest.
Yeah, compared to... not where he was in the roster, but... He could have done with more. Yeah?
Yeah.
Essentially. I think I would say I agree with you. I mean... Especially nowadays. But especially back in like 1999 or whatever... where the Intercontinental title just kept on changing hands every other month, or every month, or every few weeks. It's amazing he never got an actual run with it. So strange, isn't it?
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's but so when you're saying when you go back and watch a couple of X-Pac matches, you're probably going to be surprised at how I wouldn't say good he was, but more like, you know what? How did this guy get so much hatred?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things to be cool at a time. You have to hate on him.
Well, so you're essentially saying, if I'm correct, that the audience bullied him for no reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So you're doing the Bret Hart thing, where you're doing the Bret Hart thing when he was in Canada and he was cussing the US people, and he made them turn heel on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying the audience, the people that booed X-Pac, they're the heels. X-Pac did nothing wrong.
He didn't.
You need to have a look at yourself in the mirror and wonder why you're bullying this poor man who did spend his life just trying to entertain you.
And I will stand by everything I said. Yeah, I believe that.
All right, okay. I guess after we cut up, you essentially cut your promo for you against everyone else listening that boos X-Pac. I think that's the best way to conclude this episode. Correct?
Yes. Because people are liars. And they didn't want to admit they liked X-Pac and his fake martial arts. Yeah.
And so they turned on him to hide their insecurity at being a fan. Oh, there's levels here. There's levels.
See, I told you that, man. I got it.
You have to see. It's like those people, right? Who are closeted, right?
Yeah.
Closeted so hard, but because they can't allow themselves to acknowledge their gayness or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they have to hate on the. I'm just saying the gays in this instance, right?
Yeah.
Just an example.
Yeah.
So, but they are themselves gay. That's what it is. It's like you are an X-Pac fan. You booed him because everyone else, other people booed him. But really, you can't. You don't hate him. You love him.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
And then, but you're a fake. You're giving your fake persona of an X-Pac hater just to fit in with the crowd. You're weak. You're pathetic.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just just admit it, man. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh dear. Yeah.
He's a great man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say he is severely underrated. I don't understand the Bronco Buster like you.
Nope.
I don't understand like that Rey Mysterio still does it, and he doesn't even do the crotch top, so it makes less sense.
Makes less sense.
Right. I do believe Tori Wilson did a Bronco Buster on Nydia.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Noble pulled out of the ring.
Yeah.
Tori Wilson flaunting about.
Yeah.
Jamie Noble then slipped into position with the Bronco Buster. I said, yes, Tori, give me the Bronco Buster. And I think she went to do it, but whoever her tag team partner was, whatever it was, might be Rikushi, just ran in there and just gave Jamie Noble the butt in the face sort of thing. I can't remember exactly how that finished, but I know that didn't end up with Tori Wilson giving him the Bronco Buster.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Product of the time. That's what they say. Product of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And one other thing, I'm not sure if you knew. When X-Pac was teaming with Kane, he had. I think Kane was. They changed the color of Kane's suit one time to the green and black version.
Mm.
Instead of green and red, it was green and black, just because it was DX. But then I've seen some pictures, Photoshop pictures of it.
Yeah.
Because they said he did it in one house show. He looked toxic.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, no wonder why they decided not to use that. Even though it was teamed with DX, which had neon green, it's just like, basically, he looked like a knockoff Hulk, or the Toxic Avenger, or whatever you want to. It's just like it didn't look. First of all, it's Kane as fire, and that's red. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have neon green fire? I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So I'm the man who tore his booty on a Bronco Buster. CY Chung.
And I'm the man who throws his crotch into other men's faces for giggles. Carl Charles. That came out really weird. And thank you for listening to speak about the legend, a 2-time Hall of Famer. Wait, I think he's 2-time?
Yeah, because he went in with DX and he went in with the NWO.
Yeah, 2-time Hall of Famer. Sean Waltman, a.k.a. the 1-2-3 Kid, a.k.a. X-Pac, a.k.a. Syxx Pac. And I'm glad. Yeah, he did with the NWO. That's so weird.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, you would have thought, as a guy who was in 2 major factions, especially in this era, he'd have got more main event. Well, not necessarily like high up the card than he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just find it weird because, like, the NWO one, because if he's a 6th member, right, okay, who's the 5th member? Was that DiBiase?
No, was it? No, I think there was a member before DiBiase, because DiBiase, DiBiase was, if you count DiBiase as a member, then Syxx would have been the 7th member.
Let me find it. Yeah,
I don't know if, was it Big Show that joined, but
I think later.
Yeah, well, I can't remember exactly, right? But what I do know is they were saying, depending on how you think of it as a member of the NWO,
yeah,
he's definitely the 6th member because Eric Bischoff said it.
Yeah.
And you would say he's the 6th active member who did stuff because DiBiase was the funder and he was a manager, but depending on how you're going to count that as a member of the faction.
Yeah. Okay. But that's,
yeah.
But then why didn't Like, I know, like, my whole thing is like, why didn't the fifth member go with them into the Hall of Fame?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's what
I think. Was it the fifth member, the fake Sting?
I think so.
And then he officially joined. I can't quite recall.
But yeah, either way.
Or was it Macho Man? Wait, so who was the fourth member? Macho Man.
No, alright, let me go back. I found it. Wait, where is it? NWO. Alright, 1 second.
Yeah.
So, alright, according to this timeline on Wikipedia,
yeah,
Scott Hall and Nash, obviously the first two. Then it's Hogan, the third man, brother. Then DiBiase.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
Big Show apparently is 5th.
Yeah.
And then
Vincent.
No, NWO Sting is the 6th, and then X-Pac is 7th.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then are we not?
That's why they're saying
DiBiase because he technically wasn't a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. Either that, or you say fake Sting was not a member at the time that Syxx was a member, and he became a full member afterwards because he's just fake Sting at that point. Yeah. He's the goon they hired to pretend to be Sting.
Yeah.
And then he became NWO Sting. You know.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's us signing off.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. You can leave us messages on the Instagram, the Twitters, the emails. Like, let us know your favorite Sean Waltman moments or your favorite persona of his.
Yeah. And do you think he's underrated? Do you think he's overrated? Because some people do as well.
Yeah, but they're liars. But
do you think he deserved the hate that he did?
He doesn't.
Are you secretly a fan who booed him at the time?
Yeah, because you want to fit in with the crowd. You don't want to. You want to conform with all the others performers. Yeah, just let us know. Wow, that was a weird tangent. You can tell I'm emotionally connected to this subject. Yes, you can do that and let us know. And until next time, guys, thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye. Bye.
Sean, this has got to be the most emotional match that you've ever been involved in.
Yeah, you know, Jim, you're right. And I guess that's because it was Hunter that talked me into coming back into WWF in the first place. But that was then, and things are a hell of a lot different now, man. You know, Hunter, you want to sell out on everything that you believe in, hell, everything that all of DX believed in. That's your business, man. But you did it at my expense. And tonight, because of that, man, you're going to find out that your worst enemies are the ones that used to be your friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take you now over to Jerry the King Lawler.